This week we have two-time Bassmaster winner and three-time Bassmaster Classic qualifier Bryan New. As if that's not enough, we also have Jake's Take back this week with a report from the Bassmaster Opens. Both of them join me this week on...
I'm Bob Cobb from the Bassmaster. Welcome to Mercer.
Welcome all friends, family, freeloaders, fishing freaks. As always, you're all welcome here at the Awkwardly Honest Fishing Podcast that goes by my last name, which is Mercer. Happy Hump Day. I hope you're all having a great week. It is Wednesday, September 20th. Hard to believe how fast time is flying. This month just seems to be flying past. Been a good month, though. I mean, you know what it's been? It's been really nice for me to be fishing and not just talking about people's fishing. Now, don't get me wrong. I love all my jobs, but it is nice to get back to actually fishing rather than just talking about it. And I think my whole family feels that way, to be honest, because if you ask my wife, she'll tell you when I don't fish, I get kind of grumpy. So I've been less grumpy and I've been doing lots of fishing, and the fishing is only going to get better. Some crisp, cool mornings we're starting to get now. I mean, football is back in all of our lives, whether you're a college fan or a NFL fan. And I love this kind of year. See, I'm torn. Here's my problem. I love this time of year. We got a lot of great fishing ahead. And while people down south may be excited about the hoodie weather, it does bring a little fear to my heart. And simply because I know it's just gonna keep getting worse. But there's a lot of great fishing ahead. And here's my dilemma, because the two things I probably love most in life, outside of my family and serious things like that, is fishing and shooting underwater footage. For those of you that follow on YouTube, you've probably seen a lot of the YouTube shorts that I post. That's all shot by me for the most part. All the underwater you see in the show and YouTube, for the most part, is shot by me. And it's one of my biggest passions. Not just shooting underwater footage, but actually getting in the water and swimming with the fish. I love it. It to me, when I hear pro anglers explain hunting and what they get from it, you know, when they say, I just need that stand time, that kind of decompression. It's just everything slows down. I need to get in that. That's what shooting underwater footage is for me. I mean, I love swimming with the fishes. So here's my problem. There's part of me that really wants the temperature to get cooler because it'll make the fishing better. And then there's the other part of me that's like, no, don't get any cooler, because it will put an end to another thing that I love to do, which is swim with the fishes. But don't fear. This is me talking to me. I don't need to fear, because as soon as I'm done this podcast, I'm actually going away for a couple days. I'm going to shoot some incredible underwater footage, and it'll probably be, I'll shoot some more underwater footage this year, but it'll probably be the last time I actually get in the water with the fish for this season for me, which is always kind of sad. And I know what you're thinking. But why doesn't he just go snorkeling down in the Florida Keys in the winter months or something like that? Well, there's a problem with that. I am deathly afraid of something eating me, and there's a lot of things that could eat me in salt water. So much so, moment of total honesty, I'll let you know. So when I'm swimming with the fishes, when I'm down there diving, I literally, I wear a wetsuit, obviously. A wetsuit, for those of you who have never worn one, has a long zipper pull that you pull up the back so you can pull up your zipper. And it kind of just hangs back there. No less than twice a swim, I swear to you. No less than twice a swim. I'll be down there. It's just chill. It's just, it's the underwater environment. You learn so much from the fish. They react to you so different when you're in the water with them. It's just, to me, it is just like, mwah. It is my yoga, I guess it's not yoga, but you know what I'm saying. It's my meditation. So I'm down there, but no less than twice a swim. That zipper tag will come kind of floating in my peripherals. And it will scare the absolute crap out of me. I mean, I don't know what I think it is, but I just know it's something sneaking up on me. So, yeah, that's why I don't do it in saltwater, I guess. Because if I get scared in freshwater, I mean, Lord knows what I will do in saltwater. But excited to go off and do that. But excited about this week's show. A great few guests. Of course, we have Bryan New this week, and he's always incredible at being open and being honest. I mean, you ask him a question, you're going to get a direct answer from Bryan New, and that's definitely what he delivers this week. And as if that's not enough, we are once again joined by friend of the show, Jake Latendresse, Bassmaster Videographer, with Jake's take from the Bassmaster Open at Watts Bar, which he was there covering on the final day. He's actually going to be on Lake of the Ozarks this coming week, so we're going to have Jake's take again next week. So lots to look forward to, but without further ado, I guess we better jump into this show and catch up with the one and only Bryan New in a truck somewhere in South Carolina. Bryan New, it's always good to talk to you, and I feel like we didn't talk enough this year.
No, I decided to take a few days off. I didn't really decide to. I was kind of forced to.
When your slogan, your slogan is "Don't suck." It must really suck when you're kind of sucking.
It does. It really does. It's you can sit back and make excuses and say this or that, but at the end of the day, it's just somebody's going to suck. A lot of people are going to. I mean, 50 plus guys are going to, and when you go to a tournament, obviously we want to win, but at the end of the day, we need to get a top 50. And throughout the season, obviously you need to try to get some top 10s and to get more points, to get more money. And that's, sometimes it just doesn't come together. Sometimes you're right there and one little thing goes wrong, and instead of finishing 10th or 49th or 50th, you finish 104th or 103rd. And that happened a few times this year. And yeah, I mean, it does suck, because you made one little mistake or one little thing went wrong, turns into a huge deal. And that happened. I mean, the first 4 tournaments were bombs. I mean, I think I got 2 little checks, so somewhere in the 60s probably, and then 2 bombs. I mean, Seminole, I've been there 5 or 6 times over the last 5 or 6 years, and I've never done bad there. And I've won a big tournament there by 15 pounds. Actually, I mean, blew it away. I love that place. But this year I finished 103rd out of 104. So like that's pretty bad. So a funny story about that. Actually, 2 stories about it, but the funny one was day 2. Well, going into day 2, I was second from last, and David Mullins was dead last. And it was really pretty foggy that morning. Got to an area where I actually tried to start the first, or I did start. We'll get into that a little bit in a second, but the first day I started there. And anyways, it's a big flat, but there's a couple key places on the flat, and kind of you can see some boats around, and got pretty close to one and looked over. It was David Mullins. I said, "Mullins, this ain't good, Bubba." Second from last and dead last, starting in the same spot. I said, "We both need to leave." But so that's the funny part about that. But backing up to day 1, or let's back up to practice. There was one little patch of pad stems. I'm talking the size of 2 boats and 2 trucks parked beside each other. I had like 6 bites in practice. And, after the second one, I was like, this is probably something, but I kind of just wanted to see. So the third a bite, 4th cast bite. Like, God dang, how good is it? So after 6, I finally quit. Well, day 1, I take off, I run down the river, I pull in there on the flat, and it's just a little bay, it's not a huge bay, but I knew, it's the pad stems are just off the bank. I don't really need to look at my waypoint. I'm pulling up. I see the pad stems. I set down, look around. There's a few boats over here, a few boats over there. Iconelli's on down the bank a little ways. And I'm getting up to the pad stems where I can cast at them. And I'm looking, where's the two little reed heads that were there? And I'm looking around. Oh, they're up there about 75 yards. Like, I stopped too soon because I'm visually looking. And it'd been 2 days since I'd been there. So the juice is between me and Iconelli. He's on the other side of it. I'm on this side of it. Well, this other angler just decides to pull right in between us. I mean, like right in between us. I was not happy. I said a whole lot of very choice words and was very vocal about it. And in the meantime, I'm trying to get there. Iconelli kicks it on high, pulls down. At that point, the angler that cut us both off knew where he stood, and he didn't really get out of the way, but I went ahead and pushed my way in. But whenever I got to the juice, Iconelli was on it, rightfully so, pulled down. I didn't even throw at it. So I just kind of get out of there, and because I knew that was the juice, there was really no sense in fishing the rest of it. Fast forward, Iconelli sits there for 4 days and makes the top 10.
Ouch.
If I don't make that mistake and actually sit down where I thought I was sitting down, even maybe I don't catch him. Maybe I never get a bite, but he sat there for 4 days and made the top 10. So, I think I would have caught him. But, that's part of it. And, I could go on and on about the first 4 tournaments like that. I mean, but there's no need to. You accept it and move on. But we did turn the season around, and we quit sucking.
Yeah. The North was pretty decent to you. I mean, just really, to go from where you started the season off, after first 4 events, to you're literally knocking on the door of the Classic, a few spots outside of the Classic. So you almost fully repaired your season. But I think what you're talking about, and me and you have kind of had this conversation, whether it was you were showing up to do live mix and me, you and Davey were standing there or whatever, but I've heard this conversation a few times with you throughout the year. I think the average Bassmaster viewer way underestimates just how close that razor thin line is between having a great season, literally a great season, and a bomb, one where you don't make the Classic. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, after the first 4 tournaments, I was 101st in the points, and 5 tournaments, Sabine, the 3 northern tournaments, and another one, I don't remember where it was. I mean, I moved up and finished 46 out, so in 5 tournaments, I moved up 50 something places, 55 places. And man, I really wish we had a 10th tournament. I do. But I do have an open left, the last open of the year, and Division 1 at Harris Chain. So, I've still got an outside chance of making the Classic. It's not over until it's over. We just I've won in Florida multiple times. Never been there in the fall, and that's actually one reason I decided to fish that division of the Open this year, is because I love Florida, and I've never been there in the fall, so I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm going to go try to bring the heat and try to get in that Classic, man. There's nothing like it. You don't want to miss it, and you definitely don't want to go to work the show.
What was it like for you? I mean, I think most of your career, definitely since coming to the elites, has really been on cruise control. Like literally you showed up and making a Classic wasn't a threat. You know what I mean? Like you've always, after the first 4 events, to be as deep in the points, was it kind of, and I don't mean this in an arrogant way, but was it a little shocking to you, or at the time were you like, I took risks and this can happen?
I mean, to an extent, yes. I mean, it was a little It was a little shocking because I've never experienced it.
Yeah.
And, things have went well, or have pretty much always, once they started going well, they've stayed that way. I mean, yeah, I'd have a bomb here or there, but never 4 in a row. But honestly, like, I think it's a good thing. I always try to take every negative and turn it into a positive. So at Subway, I mean, when our kids, when they do something wrong, you hope they learn from it.
Yeah.
So that the bad turning into something good. And I try to do that. I think we all should do that in our everyday life. And no matter if you're a fisherman or whatever you do, you sell cars or you kill bugs like I'm doing right now. We're going to make mistakes. We just need to learn from them. So I took that, and we're always going to have things go wrong in our life. We just got to learn from them and move forward. And, a few bad tournaments, if I get kicked off of the elite, God, I don't want to. I hope that doesn't happen. But if that does happen, I'm still okay. It's maybe my dream's crushed for the moment, but I'm still going to be fine. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to do something to provide a living for my family. It may not be what I want to do, but the big picture is taking care of your family and living a good life. And I know I'll still be able to do that. Now that doesn't mean I'm just going to roll over and die. Like, I'm going to keep swinging hard and fighting, but I think just accepting that was a big thing for me, and just helped me keep pushing forward, and not let me be down in the gutters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have some hope.
Is that really something you worry about? Like, I don't think you're at a point where are you concerned with your long-term ability to stay? I mean, you're not that deep in you've had one bad season, but some incredible seasons.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. And honestly, like, I don't even know 100% what the requalification stuff is. I don't worry about that because, honestly, if I'm in that position, I don't need to be on the league. And I mean, that's just the way it is. That I'd be better off doing something else anyway. Maybe it's not, like, once again, what I need to be doing or want to be doing, but I need to be doing something else. And it truly blows my mind. And I don't mean this in any arrogant way or any degrading way to anybody else, but there's so many people on so many different levels that I feel bad even saying this, but this is just the way I look at it, that get their teeth kicked in constantly, every tournament, every year. And if I get to that point, I'm going to hate life. Like, I'm competitive. I like to win. I like to be successful. And we all do. I get it. But to me, I love fishing, like just fun fishing. But if I'm going to pay $50,000 a year to compete and hopefully make some money, like, I've got to be making some money. Like, I don't have enough money that I can just blow, $50,000 in entry fees plus, another 30,000 just in expenses. I mean, it costs a lot of money to do what we do. And if I can't live with blowing that, I mean, you might as well just light it on fire.
Yeah.
So if I get to that point, I mean, where I'm going to get cut, that's the situation I'm going to be in. I'm going to be blowing this money and not making any. So I need to be cut. Like, not only for that I don't deserve to be there at that point, but for my family, for my life, I need to be cut.
You mentioned it already, so we'll talk about it. And I think it's a little known fact. I mean, you can go, not a little known fact, but like, you go on chat boards and different things and social media, and you'd be like, well, must be nice to be an Elite Series pro. You guys, all you ever do is fish, but you're working right now in the off season. What are you doing? And is this every off season you end up at it with a job?
Yeah, so I work for my wife's uncles, doing pest control, JRA exterminating, and we go all over the South Carolina, really, from Clemson area at Lake Hartwell all the way to Clarks Hill and everywhere in between around Lake Murray. And, you know, it's not like I make a ton of money and pay the bills, but I'm a worker. Like, I have to be doing something. I've had a job since I was in 6th grade, so however old you are then, and I just don't see me not working. You know, and kind of backing up a little bit, everybody thinks, oh, you're a professional fisherman, you're filthy rich, and that's, you know, there are some that are that way. A lot of them that were filthy rich before they become a fisherman, or they had family money, or, you know, they're just on the top of their game, and they are making it from career earnings and sponsors. And I mean, like, I'm fine without working financially, but I have to be doing something. Either I can go fishing and spend a whole lot of money, or I can go to work and make a little bit of money. So it kind of backs up to what I was saying. You know, it just, you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, my wife could lose her job. I could get kicked off the lease. I could lose every sponsor that I have. And so it's like, no matter how much savings you have, in 1 or 2 days, it could be wiped away. So I've kind of lived my life that way, and I don't sit around. I can't sit around. I'd go crazy if I sit around. But let me tell you, it is kind of hard to go to work right now because Lake Murray is, it may not be, just forget about smallmouth fishing, because that's a different world. Lake Murray, if it's not the best lake in the country right now, it's the best lake in the Southeast. I promise you that. It's unbelievable. I mean, you can go catch a lot of fish, and they're big. It's awesome. And I live a mile and a half from the boat ramp. It's hard to kind of go to work every day.
I imagine so. Does the uncle allow? What is you work for your wife's uncle? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you allowed to go deal with some other pests, like aquatic pests, every once in a while?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's, you know, whenever I come on, you know, this will be my third off season working with him since we moved down here. And yeah, I mean, everything's flexible. I mean, just like right now, I'm at work and I'm taking an hour to do this show. I mean, he knows that my fishing job is number one, and whatever my job is for the day, I'm going to get it done, but it may be around my schedule. If I need off work tomorrow to go to a meeting or a tournament, whatever, I have that. And, you know, I'm very fortunate with that. And I've always had that. Every job I've ever had, I've had that. You know, before we moved down here, I worked with some good friends doing pavement marking in North Carolina. And I had that. You know, you got to open, go try to qualify for the league, take off 9 weeks of that year. Plus, I mean, that was just opens and 3 or 4 Toyotas, All American. I mean, it was a busy year that year. And, you know, now I'm not getting paid if I'm not at work, but, you know, I have that. Okay, you can be, you know, do what you need to do and come to work when you can.
So speaking of your fishing business, how do you feel it's going at this point? I mean, regardless of this season, which again, you righted the ship to go from 100 and something in points to where you're at, knocking on the door of the Classic. I mean, that you had an incredible second half. So I wouldn't want to focus on it all being a rough year, but like in general, when you first qualified for the Elite Series, how do you feel it has gone for you, business-wise, competition-wise, everything up until this point?
I mean, I've been very fortunate in a lot of different ways. I mean, I think I'm on my way to really making it. You know, I don't know that I'm actually there, but I'm really close. I built some great partnerships and relationships with some companies. And, you know, last week I went down to Spro and got a lot of projects that we're working on, baits we're working on together. And, you know, we just released my sashimi swimmer with Spro, which is, it's a herring style bait. Like, that's what it made for. It's great in a lot of different situations, but like it's such a good bait and a good seller right now. We're working on a lot of different things, completely different, not even in the same line, but I really got a good relationship with them as well as other companies as well. But that's a big part of the business. A lot of people thinks it's just fishing or it's just fishing and promoting, but there's a lot more to it than that. And it's not just promoting a sponsor or a sponsor's product. It's promoting yourself to the right people to be able to get those sponsors and build those relationships that may not come tomorrow, but it may 5 years down the road. And I mean, I think in these last 3 years, I think this is my third year on the Elite, like I've learned a lot. And I'm the kind of person, like, you can give me a book and tell me to read it and it'll tell you exactly how to do something, or you can tell me exactly how to do it, or I can go do it myself. And I'm a hands-on kind of person. Like I tell people all the time, it's like, people ask me, oh, how do you skip a jig? I don't know. You just do it. I can't tell you how to do it. You just got to do it. But then other people, like I know Thrift, I've seen him tell people verbally how to do it, and I can't do that.
So you say you're close to making it. What is making it? Like, how do you think you'll ever be at that point where you're like, okay, now we've made it? Like, what is that? Is that accomplishments? Is that a certain level of sponsors? What is making it?
I don't know. I mean, I think my goal, and the goal gets different every year to an extent, or gets bigger, but my goal is to make enough money fishing where I'm comfortable not working. And like I said, I can't sit around. I've got to be doing something. But every day I go fishing is going to cost me $100. And that's $700 a week. I'm not going to go every single day, but that's a lot of money. And, I get to the point with sponsors that I'm making enough money where that $700 a week that I blow, even though it wouldn't be blowing, it'd be in spending and investing into all of that. Where that doesn't matter, then I'll feel like I've made it. I hope right now I'm not worried about getting kicked off, and we've already talked about that. But if I do, oh well. But I think say I was to get kicked off, I think I'm valuable enough because I'm a bait guy. Like a lot of guys are, but like ever since I was 6 or 7 years old, I've been tinkering and making baits and this and that. And I know there's really not very many things on the market. I don't know obviously I wouldn't know if I didn't know about it, but there's probably not very many things on the market that I don't know about. And I know what makes certain baits do this and do that. And a lot of guys look in my tackle box and half the stuff they see, they've never even heard of. So, that's part of the relationship that I've built with Pro, and bringing unique ideas and stuff to them. And we've got to have some really cool stuff come to the market in the next few years that I'm really excited about. But, if I do get kicked off, or one day I retire, like I still want to do something like that. And I think I'm in the position now that I can do so.
Yeah. You've built those relationships, and stop saying you're getting kicked off, dude, because you're so far from getting kicked off. Like, damn, if you're worried about it, there's a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying, because it could happen. One day it could happen.
Yeah.
And who knows?
It could, but I'm betting it doesn't happen for you anytime soon, dude. I mean, you've got a pretty good track record as it is. You said at the beginning, like, you need to focus on making top 50s and you need a few top 10s throughout the season. How do you make that decision? When do you make that decision? Is that made in pre-fish, or is that made during the tournament?
I think everybody has their own deal, what works for them. Maybe, I hear people a lot of times in practice, they just don't find it and say, oh, well, I just need to back up and figure out how to make the top 50. That's not how I work. Like, I try to find every tournament I fish, I try to win it. And, I try to win it, but whatever the best thing I have from practice, that's what I do, period. And maybe all of them are a little bit different. Maybe I have this deal that's like the best deal, but it's a little bit higher risk. And then I have this deal that's like, this is, I don't want to say guaranteed, but more likely. That's probably not going to be, if it does work, it's not going to be as good of a finish, where this, if it works, it'll be a higher finish. Now, when I come into that, whether it be a long run or going through rough water, whatever it may be, I'm still probably going to go to the best deal that's a higher risk, but mix in that more likely deal as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, I try to have the best finish I possibly can in every tournament. And, a lot of tournaments, I feel like I'll have the opportunity to win. Now, Lake Murray, Seminole, I never thought I was on anything close enough to having a chance at winning. But Okeechobee, Murray, Santee, I was doing the right stuff to win. It just didn't happen. It didn't work out. Okeechobee, I mean, half of the top 10 was where I was at, but they got bit and I did. And it was a crowd. It was like the crowd would go this way and I'd try to go this way to try to stay away from the crowd, which, we would pass, but like they got bit. I didn't. And, that's just the way it goes. And, backing up, just like I said before, you just keep on keeping on, and don't accept the defeat or don't accept the failure, however you want to look at it. But to an extent, you do have to accept it and move on, but learn from it at the same time.
So what? I hear that all the time. I mean, Conor McGregor's famous line is, "You either win or you learn," and it's a great line. But what is that? How do you learn from a whooping? Like, when you have one that's real bad, what do you learn from that?
I think a lot of it is mental. I mean, for me this year, it was mental. We kind of already went over that, but at the same time, you look back and analyze, what you did wrong. Like going back to that Seminole deal, like I visually saw what I thought was where I was supposed to start.
Yeah.
And I stopped. Well, now I get in that situation again. Either I'm going to look for a better landmark and make sure that it's the deal, or I'm going to look down my waypoint, just little bitty things. There's always something really small that a lot of people would not think about that would completely change the outcome.
Yeah.
And, and maybe it's, a technique that you're just starting to use, and you haven't really dialed it in with the rod and the line and the hook and everything. And that as well, I don't really have a, story from that, but that is a situation that can 100% come into play, where you analyze what you did wrong and try to get better at it, try to do it better. I mean, the scoping deal, I don't even want to get on that, but like I don't really want to. I've heard enough about it. I think the world's heard enough about it.
I agree, but but I didn't even mention it, and you brought it up. But finish your thought.
I'm gonna say what I've got to say, and we're gonna put it to bed.
All right.
So for the last couple of years, I've talked trash about it, but at the end of the day, it's here to stay. I mean, I got behind. It's not like it come out yesterday. It's been a big deal for 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. And I just didn't really put the time in that I needed. Like now I feel like I'm really good at it. I don't think I'm the best, but I think I'm really good at it. I've been decent at it, but I was almost like, man, I think we should ban it. But at the end of the day, it's been here for 5 years. If you're going to ban something, you need to ban it immediately. People have qualified for the elite strictly because of it. There's a lot of guys that I don't want to say that's all they know how to do, but it's almost all they know how to do. And they're really good at it, and they dominate with it. And they top 10 and win and top 10 and then win some more. But when they seen, okay, this is what fishing is, they spent their time focused on that, got really good at it, qualified, having success, winning top 10 and winning top 10. And you can't take that away. You can't take that away from them now. And now that I've accepted it, I love it. I mean, and even when I was a hater, I still loved it when it was doing it, because it's so much fun, and it's not just put it on and you go catch every fish like so many people think it is. It's far from it. Like, it's taught us so much. I mean, honestly, my Spro Sashimi Swimmer, like, the reason that bait is here is because of LiveScope. There's been that style of bait around for years, but I've visually seen at Lake Hartwell things that needed to be changed on certain baits, and to dial it in to make it actually the deal. And that's how that bait come about. I mean, that's just one example. I mean, Champlain, I've seen them react to stuff different, pressure, and they move around, and we're learning so much about fish and just the way they eat, the way they react, and the way they use the lake, the way they do everything. We're learning that. We never would have done that. And fishing is getting tougher. In general, we may be catching more fish because of it, but fishing in general is getting tougher because of it at the same time. And these fish are getting smart, and we've got to get smarter as they get smarter, and just to learn new tricks and figure out how to make them bite.
So do you think that had anything to do with you having a rougher season, or you would not put that on it?
No. There's no excuses. I mean, little things that I either did wrong or just went wrong, that's the reason my season went the way it was. Santee, I mean, there was one fish. I lost one giant, like at least 8-pounder. It wasn't a 10, but it was an 8-pounder. I catch that fish, I make day 3. You know, that's not a great event, but it's not a bad event. You know, and you know, thinking back, I kind of tried to forget about it. I know exactly where it was. I know a lot of details of it, but I think that fish actually broke me off, because it went around the tree a time or two. I got him around the tree, and then he went under the boat, and he got around a stump and broke me off. Like, I should have had my drag back down a little bit. Like, when I seen it, I knew. I mean, I've caught those fish doing that same exact deal. I mean, I've caught hundreds of them down there doing that. And I'm pretty sure that's the only one I've ever broke off, knock on wood. And when I hooked him, I knew that fish was caught. I was wrong, because I made a simple little mistake. And, yeah, you learn from it, back that drag up a little bit, and you know, move on.
Do you spend more time after a tough season assessing where things went wrong, or more time after a good season, or is it the exact same?
No, it's like, you know, we've got our schedule. The next event is what matters. During that event, that's all that matters. And then if we have back-to-back, it might be a little bit different. But if there's a break, I've got a day to analyze it, to think about it on the drive home. and then it's in the past. Put it in the back and forget about it. Remember what you learned, and then the next event's all that matters. Now, here we are. We've got our schedule for next year. That's all that matters. And now I won't go the one tournament at a time. Like, I'll start, all right, this for this, this for that, this for that, this for that. I'll start planning all that, and whether it be just, really a whole lot of things, but tackle, stuff to rig up for that event, stuff I need to look for on Google Earth, and this and that, and on the map, all of that. So I have that stockpiled for each lake. But whenever we get close, a week before the season, 2 weeks before the season starts, that first tournament's all that matters. When I'm done with that, it's the next one. So I don't get crazy. Like right now, this year's in the past. I've already know what I did wrong and know what I can do to do better in those same situations. I think you just kind of don't dwell on the past or let it keep beating you up or worrying about it. Just, I've already had my chance to do what I needed with that.
Yeah. Me and you were texting back and forth when the schedule came out, and I really enjoyed one of your responses, because it doesn't matter when a schedule comes out, doesn't matter where bass goes. There's going to be a bunch of people that complain. The minority is going to be the people that are happy, because there's only 9 events. So there's those people that live near those bodies of water, those people that are interested in those bodies of water, be happy, but a lot of people will be upset. And that doesn't stop at anglers. You hear that from anglers, you hear it from viewers, you hear it from everything. But I asked your thoughts on the schedule, and you gave me a very different answer. Talk about that.
So, even today, like, I look forward to seeing the schedule. For several different reasons. I can go ahead and start my prep for next year, like we were just speaking of, and Brittany can go ahead and start booking houses and all of that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where we go. It's still going to be a tournament, still going to be a winner. There's still going to be 50 guys that really suck, and then there's going to be 30 guys that suck, and like this year, looking at the schedule, I was like, oh, we got to go to the stupid Sabine River again. Or, well, this past year, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
And dude, that was one of my better finishes. Like, and backing up to that, yeah, I've been there. This is my second time. So the first time I was cussing it before, 6 months before I ever showed up there. This stupid place, I don't want to go here. And I had a bad tournament, a really bad tournament. A lot of the season, I was like somewhat not as aggressive with the hate, but I had the hate for it. And then, after Santee, I started getting my mind back right and kind of accepted the sucking that I'd been doing all year. Go to Lay Lake, actually had the opportunity to win it. Didn't win, but I finished top 5, 4th, 5th, something like that. I don't remember. Really good tournament. Move on to the Sabine. I knew it wasn't going to just suck for me. It sucked for everybody. Even who won? It wasn't
Brock.
Brock. Yeah, it even sucked for Brock. It didn't look like it on paper, but it did. And just knowing it's the same for everybody. We go to Ontario. Chris and Corey are going to finish first and second. Well, Chris has won once. Corey's never won. They never finish first and second. They get beat every time. So, well, I shouldn't say every time, but they're always there. They're always knocking on the door. But you can't say, somebody's got an advantage over me, because you don't get to the elites for the most part on an accident.
No.
So pretty much everybody out here knows what they're doing, and you just got to know that they're not better than me. They may be last week or next week, but this week we're on the same field.
I think that's one of the most important. I think it's one of those veteran things that, I mean, when we go to a stingy fishery like Sabine, you notice a lot of veterans do really good in that event. But I think it's because you almost have to go through that. No matter how much somebody tells you, hey, go there, you're going to, it's going to be a stingier fishery. But it's like, to me, from the outside, it feels like you got to go through that a few times and then have that aha moment where you're like, wait a second. I mean, someone's going to win, and I might as well just come in this positive. Is that right, the way I'm reading it? Like, is that why you're feeling that way? Your career is just maturing a little bit.
It could be. I mean, I can't, like, I think it kind of goes to, like, when you see your kids every day, you don't really notice them growing up. But when, like, my situation, got a 7-week-old baby, like, I'll go a day or two without seeing him, or, like right before Champlain, or while I went to Champlain and practice, it was about a week before I seen him. And then when I did, I was like, holy crap. So somebody from the outside looking in that isn't me with my career, they can maybe see that, but I think me being a part of it, I don't see it. But yes, I think you could probably, that probably is a big part of it. And I just, you just got to accept it. And it doesn't matter. Man, we could, at least you could call and say, hey, we're going to go fish the Gulf of Mexico next year. It wouldn't matter to me. I'd look forward to it, and I'd show up and figure out how to do my job.
It's a great attitude. That's the right attitude, I would say. Because, I mean, even weather, you see times when we'll have fisheries where the chatter starts about how rough it's going to be and how is it going to be canceled, isn't going to be canceled. It feels like the people, they get wound up in that. That becomes their whole event. I mean, it's just that, I mean, you got to focus on catching 5 fish, because every problem in pro fishing gets fixed by just catching more.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you can't pick the cards you're dealt, so you just play the ones that when they're gave to you.
So that first event you talked about, I think it was Seminole, and where you could have gone to that spot and stopped early and another angler. How do you recover from that? Like when you have a bit of a war on the water, which, I mean, to me, one of the biggest messed up things about pro fishing is many people just think it's a gentleman's club. And for years, everybody's the same. We're all vanilla. Everybody gets along, and it's competition. And there's always going to be those moments in competition. And it's celebrated in other sports, but for whatever reason in fishing, it's like nobody ever can have conflict, but conflict happens. How do you recover from that on the water? Does that stick with you all day, or once it's done, it's done?
I hold grudges, and I mean, that's not a good thing at all, but you do me wrong, I'm not going to forget about it ever. You do me wrong twice, and you'll do me wrong twice. Let's just say that. But at the moment, like, I have a job to do at that that day, and we can have it out after the day's over. We can have it out after the tournament's over and try to resolve it or speak our mind, whatever needs to be, however it needs to be handled. But at the end of the day, at that moment, I have a job to do. It's no different than losing a fish. You can't change it. It's in the past. You move on. Somebody comes in and cuts me off, jumps on top of me, sees me catching them, and comes over there. I can't change it. I can speak my mind and do what just do the best job I can with the situation that's at hand. And you can't let it eat you up. I mean, just you lose focus or ruin your day. You're not going to make the right decision. And, that's not the reason that I had a bad tournament there.
Yeah.
A huge part of the reason I had a bad tournament is I screwed up and stopped 100 yards early. And I didn't intentionally stop 100 yards too early. I thought I was stopping where they really were. And I messed up. And I've never done that. I have stopped too early before intentionally just to work my way into it. And had somebody come in, but that's just part of it. But that situation, that angler, he was 100% in the wrong. I would never do that to somebody, no matter what's on the line. But he's not the reason that I had a bad tournament.
No, because if you had sat down in the right spot, he couldn't have pulled in between you two.
Right.
How often does conflict happen? And not just with you, but how often do you think there is conflict in Elite Series events?
I'm sure, throughout the whole field, it happens every day.
Yeah.
At least let me back up. At least the first 2 days when there's 100+ guys in the field. And I tell you another thing that's happening that, I spoke to another angler that's been around a really long time that doesn't like people around him. We spoke of this, and it's 100% it's happened. So with the scope now, just like these smallmouth tournaments, and especially, we're all out there just looking down and going, and we're just constantly practicing the whole time. We're constantly practicing. But now it's so easy to get on top of somebody and have that for an excuse. Oh, I didn't even see you there. You know what I mean? Like St. Clair, Anchor Bay, there were two parking lots, and then there was a bunch of other people just randomly. Well, I had one place, the first 3 days, I only fished 3 days. The first 2 days, me, Brian Schmidt, and John Cruz were the only people I seen on that place. Well, come the third day, now that's not the only deal I was fishing, but that stretch, those were only 3 people that fished it the first 2 days. Come the third day, there was a parking lot on. And you would get in the big boats, and then they would be like, this guy's in the top 10 and this guy's in the top 10. Well, you would see people that were originally there, but they start gravitating to that guy. And that happened at Champlain a lot too. It's so easy to hide it and never even know. But if somebody's doing it to you, or if you wanted to do it, it'd be so easy for you to do it, and nobody would know you're doing it. And that's sad. But man, I try to live my life doing people right the way that I would want people to do me. I'm not perfect. I definitely 100% I do wrong things every day. But I'm never going to jump on somebody like that. The only reason I'm going to be on a place is because either hold on a second.
It's got visitors.
Sam.
There's a lot of podcasts you can watch. Very few of them are as unprofessional and unscripted as this particular podcast.
Okay. Yeah, just have him call the office.
Oh, those spiders can be ornery this time of year too. For those of you watching the audio version, what's happening right now is
good talk to you. Take care.
Elite Series champion Bryan New is talking to somebody about their spiders, and he now returns to your regular scheduled programming.
Something. Anyways.
She's got an awful problem with spiders. Are spiders bad this time of year?
Yes, they are. They are. Been killing a lot of spiders here lately. But yeah, you'll have to bring me back to where we were.
We were talking about people taking liberties with spots and things like that, and you were saying how you like to live your life the way you would expect other people to. You expect people to treat you the way you treat them, type thing. I think that's where we're basically going.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm like backing up. I'm not saying I've never done anything wrong, because I do every day. We all do. But I can't live with myself. If I go win a tournament, or if I finish and make the top 10 or any of that, that's great. But if I did it because I did somebody wrong, I can't live with myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the, oh, I didn't do it on my own thing. It's I did him wrong thing. That's what I can't live without, or live with myself, you know, about. I mean, I've made top 10s and done well because somebody helped me, gave me a little bit of, hey, you know, I'm catching them over here. If you get in a struggle, come on over. You know, everybody on the elites has probably. But if I see you or whoever, and I know you're catching them, and the only reason I show up there is because you were there, I won't be able to sleep at night. Now, technique or something, that might be a little bit different. Like if we're fishing the same area and I see you're throwing a crankbait and I've been throwing a chatterbait and you're kicking my teeth in, I'm probably going to pick a crankbait up. You know, that's completely different. I don't feel like that's jumping on somebody. And I'm not saying everybody does it, but there's a lot more of it that goes on than should be. There should be none.
Yeah.
But and I understand, like, there's a lot going on. I mean, we got a lot of money invested. We're trying to do it to make a living. So people get desperate. But man, like, if I have to do somebody wrong to pay my bills or to stay on the elite, I need to be doing something different.
Yeah. I think it's easier now, just like you said, with the scoping, because things are so different. You know, like in the past, you knew, okay, well, dude, you started way out there. The shoal is right here. So you clearly didn't even know what you were coming to. Well, now the shoal, I mean, the spot is no longer even the spot. Like, all the talk about the spot within the spot. Like, it was fun fishing the other day with a group of friends, several different boats, and we couldn't believe, like, there's this area that we all had fished, and it was a break, and a very obvious, like, when I had my 360 on it, I'm like, this is the perfect structure. Well, none of the fish were on that. They were all, you know, they were on that at some point, but none of them were on it, and they were out there. So it becomes, I think, people, you know, what is your spot? Well, my spot is the whole lake. You know, they don't have a spot anymore.
Yeah. That fish is my spot. And when I catch him, that fish is my spot. And yeah, I mean, it's amazing that, it's a different world now.
What percentage of, now this isn't throwing anyone under the bus, but I mean, I want to know this for myself, just curious of what you think. Let's just say if somebody who pulls onto a spot like that, let's just say they're pirates. I mean, that word has been used many times in the past. What percentage of Elite Series anglers do we have as pirates?
I mean, I don't know the percentage, but I know the guys that've done it to me. Actually, there was one at St. Lawrence, and just to be clear, there's this one place, or I shouldn't even say it's a place, but this one area out in the middle of the lake that Austin Felix told me about last year. And after catching 15 pounds the first day, I go to this area and catch 24 pounds. Felix was there the first day. I'm there the second day. Well, on the way to this place, this certain angler was out that way, but not out there. This year, I'm not 100% sure, but I know basically for a fact that there's no way this angler went there the first day of the tournament. I don't think it's possible to have went there the first day of the tournament because of rough water. I'm not sure that the angler even practiced on the river, the lake, period, that week. From some other things I heard that they had going on. Day 2, I'm running to this area. Felix is running to this area as well. I see this same angler that was out that way, but not out there. I set my boat down. they set their boat down right beside me. Felix keeps running, sets his boat down. A few minutes later, said angler cranks up and runs to where Felix is. We all three make the top, or make, day 3 cut. Like, I can't tell you for a fact, but that evening I said, Felix, I said, he pirated us today. He said, oh, 100%. Like, both of us, without talking to each other, knew that he did that. And, they had a really rough year. I don't think they got a check all year until that tournament. They had a lot of, I know they've got a lot of personal stuff going on in their life, but that still doesn't make it right. Doesn't matter what you've got going on. You don't do that crap to anybody. And whatever you're doing, whether you're fishing or you're, cutting grass for a living, you don't go try to take that guy's job from him. And 100%, he pirated us. So, I mean, I've only got a handful of stories where that happened to me that I can say it definitely happened to me. But I think it happens every tournament.
Yeah. There's too much money on the line for it not to. I mean, the sad truth is you got a lot of people. I always say, somebody will rob a 7-Eleven for $500. They will go in there, they will put a mask on, and they will rob a store for $500. So if you don't think somebody's going to take liberties for $100,000, and it's not even the money that you're winning, it's the money that you're trying to save. You're spending $5,000 to enter an event. So
yeah.
How do you deal with, in your situation, and I don't need names or anything, but that happens to you. Do you talk to said angler after the tournament at the weigh-in, or is it never said and it's just put in the mental notebook that that's not one of the good dudes?
No, I think it depends. I mean, I had all intentions of calling this angler and having a talk with him. I haven't. I mean, now we're, 3 or 4 weeks away from it now. And it really just comes to, like, I've got too much going on in my life, new baby, new house, Braylon's playing volleyball, just so many things going on that I haven't done so. And I still really know that I need to do it. But if I don't, like, I'm not going to forget it. I'm not going to forget it. But I think the right thing to do, I think it is. You do need to call them out, because if you don't call them out, one, they're going to keep doing it. Just because you call them out, don't mean they won't keep doing it. But it needs to be done. And hopefully I do. There's a good chance they watch this and they'll know. I promise you, they'll know who I'm talking. I'm talking about them, because there was only me, Felix, and said angler there. But it's not like I hate you, I hope you die kind of thing. It's like, dude, I know what you did. You were wrong. Don't do it again. And, like, I'm not going to just go jump on them, but since they did it to me. But it may lead to, oh, well, I'm not going to let you have this, even though we're fishing the same spot. You remember that time you did me that way? Like, I'm going to do what I want to right now.
Yeah, it's
because you can't make it right. And I'll back up. I'll give you one more example, and it's definitely it's not a pirate deal. But at Pickwick last year, there's only 20 schools on the whole lake. Every single one of us know about it. We hate fishing on top of each other, but sometimes we have to. That situation, if you're on a place that I want to get on, I'm going to pull up to, talking distance. I'm going to set the boat down. Hey, you care if I come in? If you tell me yes, I come in. At that point, you have your every right to come in on me if that's where you were coming to the rest of the tournament. If you tell me no, at that point, no, you don't come in on me. Don't even stop and ask. And me and Swindle wound up fishing the same place several times throughout the tournament. Both, every time one of us would stop, hey, no, come on in. Swindle would pull up, nope, come on in. But this one angler was on a place that I want to be on. I stopped, asked him. He said, yeah, I don't want you to come in. Well, that's perfectly fine. I left, went to another place. Me and Parasnik were actually both going to it. He got to it a little bit before me, sat down, idles over it. So I know what he's doing. I just stop before it and wait on him to turn around to ask him, hey, you care if I come in? He turns around. He said, no, come on. So we're both fishing it. The angler that told me not to come in with him, which I respected, had zero negative thoughts about him whatsoever. Hey, I don't want nobody fishing with me either, but those tournaments, that's how it is. He comes on in, and I gave him some words, and we actually parked beside each other at the weigh-in that afternoon. He comes and starts being all apologetic. I was like, buddy, you knew what you were doing. You can't, no matter what, you can't never take the pass back. I mean,
Yeah.
You see somebody and you shoot them, you can't never unpull that trigger. It's done. We can move on, but that's done. You knew what you were doing. So that's definitely a completely different situation. That's not pirating, but it is, I don't know what you would call it. It's wrong is what it is. It's not cool. It's not okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that happen like that. So, I mean, over the years, there's been, when we used to have big flotillas of boats. I mean, we don't have near as big. That's one of the, I mean, I love the big flotillas because it was like bass fishing, and all of a sudden the state fair shows up because there was always all different sorts of people out there. But the flotillas, like the amount of, I mean, there used to be hundreds of boats that would follow guys around, but now the live it's not that way. But there were people when they had big flotillas that would literally nuke guys by just buzzing by. But for some people, that's competition. Like, I mean, I listened to a sports show earlier today, and an NFL player said, and this isn't it. He was a college player, said the same thing, but he said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But our sport's different, or we try to be different. Do we not?
I do. I know I do. Like, backing up, I can't sleep at my head. If I push the rule, and don't get me wrong, like, I try to do everything I can within the rules, but like, I'm not going to push the rules. I've called Lisa so many times over the last few years asking questions. Is like, and then somebody would at the gas station, oh, you need to go. You can't do that. Like, I just don't get that. I don't get it. And I don't get that if you're not cheating, you're not trying, or if you're not pushing the rules, you're not trying. That's bullshit. Yeah. Like, these are our rules. We, yes, we're here to beat each other, but we're here to beat each other, not to sabotage each other, not to steal from each other. If I call and get information on wherever, I'm cheating. I don't deserve that. I'm stealing money from you. That should be a federal offense. I mean, it should be. I mean, you still, I don't know, you still $10,000. That's a federal offense if you actually go do it. So what's any difference here? But if I pirate you and do wrong, I'm still stealing from you. I'm screwing you up. I'm messing with your job.
Yeah. Why do you think we see more of that or hear more of that recently? Is more of that happening? Is it today, or are we just hearing more about it because of social media?
I think both. I think it's definitely more of it's happening. I mean, look at the world. This is a screwed up world. It's sad to see that the world is what it is today. Nobody cares about anybody but themselves. And I shouldn't say nobody, but a huge population of the world, not just our country or my country. I'm sure your country is the same way, but the whole world, they think about themselves, a huge population, and nobody else. If I screw you so I can get ahead, that doesn't matter. I got ahead. And it's sad to know that the world is like that. And it's just trickling down. And the crap that our kids are learning in school and on social media that's okay, and oh, this is fine, and it's okay to do this, and it's okay to do that. And that, these younger kids, and I'm not just picking on them because it's like a lot of them just don't know better because that's what they've been taught and that's what they've seen so much. And the world is getting more evil every day. and it's bass fishing's not excluded from that.
Yeah, that's sad, but very, very true. The level of stuff that's accepted has totally changed, and the celebration of negative, you know what I mean? Like that you can do negative to be positive towards yourself. Like that has become, it's one of the grossest things in sports, like in any sport, if you ask me. And obviously this is the sport that I care about most. Let's get more positive though, because we went down kind of a weird little mole hole, but it's not near as weird as some of the mole holes we've gone down together in conversations are a lot worse than this. But what is
yeah.
what
very
is
what is
what is your favorite part about your job on the Elite Series? Like what is the moment that you're just like when it's all said and done, there's got to be a few moments that you'll sit on a rocking chair somewhere on a deck and be like, man, that was the coolest thing about my job.
You know, there's so many cool things. Like, I love getting to travel. I love that part of it. Like, we go to through a lot of dump holes, you know, bad places that you would never want to see. But like, that's part of the traveling, the experience, the stuff you get to see. We see some great places. We see some terrible places, but I love that. I love meeting the people. You know, whether it be just fans to you and everybody that works for bass, to anglers, to, you know, the people in the industry that you meet. I love all that and building relationships with that. I love the competition. I love winning. I love, you know, and winning, like actual winning first place, it's definitely different. But if you make the top 10, that's sort of like winning as well.
Yeah.
You know, it like, it's not like other sports where like it's just you and against somebody else. Like a top 10 is a big deal. And so making top 10s, I love, you know, if I get in the top 50, it's been a decent tournament. If I get in the top 10, it's been a great tournament. But then I thought I had this thing on Do Not Disturb. Get some kind of call.
Spiders again.
Yeah, calling for spider control. But yeah, I mean, it'd be hard to put my finger, like if you ask me right now to this point in my career, I mean, it'd have to be winning my first Elite, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that was one moment, one day, and I have so many of those moments. Maybe not to that caliber, but I have so many of those moments, you know, every day, really every day, you know, whether it be, oh, we finally got this bait right that we've been working on. I mean, that's a win to me. And everybody kind of has their thing. Some people like to go play golf. Some people like to go deer hunt. I like fishing tackle. Like, I love the fish, but I love fishing tackle. Whether it's getting new stuff that I don't have or getting more stuff I do have, or designing this bait to make it do something that nobody's ever been able to do. That's what I love. And whenever I can make something, design something that's like, dude, this is the deal. And it not only is it actually a great bait, well, let me rephrase that. Not only does it actually sell great, it actually is legitimate, because there's a lot of baits on the market, or have been on the market, that sold tremendous, but they actually sucked, or they wasn't nearly as good as everybody thought they were. But I mean, I feel weird even saying it, telling all my friends and everybody how good the Shishine swimmer is. Like, it's like, dude, this ain't a sales pitch. It actually truly is this good. But at the same time, I feel like, oh, I'm just trying to sell you something. But no, it's reality. It's really that good. And that's a big moment that I love, you know, making that final decision on that bait and it coming to that point and being that. Not only selling great, but actually being great.
I think that's something that live and not just Bass Live, but like the live world we live in has changed in the way that if you took baits from 10, 15 years ago, I mean, and every company has their hero baits and their ones that are lesser, you know what I mean? They're not all going to be on par. But I feel like baits in general have gotten better on average because number one, guys aren't going to use it if it doesn't catch them. And as baits like Max Scent have proved, they don't have to be sponsored by you to use those baits if they're catching them.
Yep.
And also, I think it's not just that live, but it's the live of like consumers have a voice. Like 20 years ago, if you hated a bait, there was no real voice. You know what I mean? You told your buddies and you stood around a tackle shop. Well, now, I mean, there's people that make livings off that, just like reviewing baits and stuff like that. So I think it's actually pushed the market to get better. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I do, because I mean, you basically kind of covered it. Like, if something sucks, everybody can tell the whole world that it sucks nowadays. Not just you don't have to go actually buy it and find out for yourself. You know, I'm still probably going to do that and make sure for myself, because what I think sucks and what somebody else thinks sucks might be two different things. But you know, there is no lying anymore. You can't say, "Oh, this is the bait I was catching," or "I was catching them on a chatterbait," when I was actually catching flipping a tube. You know, there is none of that anymore, which is good. I mean, I think on that aspect, it's made us more honest, which is good. But yeah, and I tell everybody, every partner that before I ever sign a deal with, like, I'm going to use what I need to use to do my job, but I'm going to do my job for you as well. I'm not going to lie and say I'm using this, but I'll have my opportunities to do my job for you, but I'm not going to lie for you. And I've never had anybody not think that was okay. And I think that's, you know, I don't know that everybody tells their partners that, but I think there's just not just myself. I think in general, there's a lot more truth behind what people are trying to sell now.
Yeah, I think so. I think there has to be. It's just an evolution of how that all has happened. I mean, everything's right in front of everybody. And that's, I honestly think, as much as people slight on social media, that's one of the coolest effects. It's people are more real than they've ever been in history. Like, literally, like, go listen to an interview with a professional angler from 20 years ago. I mean, you're like, where do these people grow? I mean, everybody's perfect. Like, there's never, and that's just not how the world is. But so your attraction to baits and being that way, has that always just been like to find something that other people don't have, or you're just obsessed with the sport and that element of it?
I think that's how it started, you know. But man, like, I am obsessed. Like, that's really, like, I think about fishing, getting better at fishing, and my family, and that's it. That's it, literally. And I do think about now, and it's kind of weird for me to even say this, because I don't feel like I'm anybody different because I'm not any different than anybody else. I put my pants on the same way as you do, and these guys that nobody's ever heard of, but I do have a platform now, and I have a broader voice than I've ever had. So I do care. That's something else that I really care about, is trying to do a little bit just to make something better. Just, you know, I helped out a little bit with a river sweep on Lake Murray this weekend, and you know, I was able to voice it and get a lot of people that didn't even know about it, you know, to come sign up and be a part of it. And a lot of different things like that mean a lot to me. I mean, fishing, my family, let me rephrase it, my family, fishing, and then trying to make a difference somehow. Those are really the three things that matter to me.
Well, I think you're making a difference. And one of the things I love about you, dude, is you've from the moment I met you've kind of been unapologetically yourself. You are who you are, and those are the kind of people that I always get along with. But one of the things, and I've never really asked you about this, but one of the things I love about you is dude, a lot of your success and a lot of the growth in this sport, you took a different route. Everybody talks about college fishing and everything, but you fished the back of the boat for a long time. So I've never asked you this, but what is the most ridiculous thing you've ever you don't have to throw a name out there or anything, but as the back of the boat, I mean, you want to hear the truth that happens in tournaments. You talk to somebody who's been in the back of the boat of everybody, and you've pretty much done that. Tell me the wildest experience you've ever had on the back deck of a boat.
Oh man, I mean, wildest or dumbest?
Wherever you want to go.
So it was an FLW event at Lake Okeechobee. I drew this angler, and it had been the second or third time I had drew said angler. And like we blast off from Roland Martin, come out, go into the west wall like an eighth of a mile, basically, and just cut through the Kissimmee grass and run and just sit down in the middle of it. It's like, what are you doing? And I mean, like, it was clueless can be. I mean, even like I knew that when I seen the draw. So fish a little while, go to get on plane. The water's down too, by the way, this year. And we're idling out, and the angler's trying to get the boat up on plane. I was like, trim your jack plate. And constantly trimming the jack plate down. Shallow water, trying to get on plane. I looked, I said, trim your jack plate up. You know, we'll be able to get on plane. They looked at me, said, you may not believe it, but I do know what I'm doing. It's something like that. And all right, have at it. I don't think we've said a word since. Oh, it was wow. But I mean, I don't know. I've got tons of stories. I've got one. It wasn't me, but it was a friend of mine.
Oh, those are the best, because you'll tell me the truth.
Oh God, I've got several that I can tell, but this one I'm going to tell. This one. It was at Santee Cooper. He was a co-angler. Drew out with this angler, and like brand new, flawless, everything, top of the line boat. And it's actually 2014, and it was like, I don't know, probably $100,000 boat then. I know that's somewhat common now, but back then it was like, oh my God. Shows up, went to step in their boat, and he goes crazy. Take your shoes off. Oh my God, what are you doing? So he's like, okay. So he took his shoes off. I think he had to fish barefoot all day because he couldn't step in the guy's boat with the shoes on. And he had, like, I remember he said 35-pound test camo monofilament on this rod. We're at Santee now, out in the middle of tall call. The trolling motor was like on constant. He didn't hit the button to go. He had it on the constant button on all day long, no matter what. When he'd sit down to retie, still going.
Come on.
He tied a 10XD on 35-pound camo mono, and was just throwing and reeling on constant. And he sits down to retie, and my buddy's just doing what he could, you know. He looks up and said, we're about to hit the dock, bud. And the guy's like, oh, it'd be fine, whatever. And he said, no, like, we're actually fixing to hit the dock. So he looks up and he goes to scrambling, hits the dock, fell down. The boat's starting to spin in a circle now. It was the god-awful story you've ever heard. Thank God I wasn't in that boat. I never had a story that good.
Oh, you've had some good ones though. I mean, what about you? You and John Cox are brothers for life, are you not?
Yeah, yes, we are. So back in the day, FLW, I think it was the top 10. You had to fish out of their boat, which, whatever. That was crazy. I'm glad I didn't ever have to do that. But so day 4, top 10, Smith Lake, where we're going next year. Me and John Cox were fishing, or he was fishing. I was sitting there watching, trying to stay awake. And he goes to make a move, and it's funny because I remember, like we're running. He's always ran aluminum boats. I shouldn't say always, but at that point he had been doing it for several years. And we're just cruising. I mean, 50 miles an hour tops. And those tour boats were used and abused, and the people that rigged them didn't know what they were doing. So I don't know if any of that come into the play, but I've never seen this happen or heard of it happening. But me and Anthony Gagliardi were texting back and forth, and I'm in the passenger seat. Cox is driving, and I'm looking down at my phone responding to a text. So I wasn't looking up. I wasn't looking at the steering wheel. I don't know exactly all of that, but I knew we were making a slight left-hand turn, not going fast, like I said, 50 tops. And I'm texting, and all of a sudden the boat grabs and throws me over. My phone, still like I'm bear hugging my phone now, death grip. And I got almost all the way to like John's seat, and I'm starting to bring myself back, and then it bites again. And of course it throws me a lot harder that time. I hit John, like my right shoulder hit his left shoulder. And the next thing I know, we're in the water. I think what happened was, I think I actually pushed him in. I don't think he would have went in, but I pushed him in, go in over top of him. Come to find out, the boat went over top of both of us. The skeg hit him in the leg. That's another reason you wear a kill switch.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my God. I swim to the surface, look around. Oh, there's the boat. So I swim to the boat, crawl up back at the motor. I'm looking around for Cox. I don't see him, and about that time his head pops up on the other side of the motor. So I grab him, pull him in. We both look at each other like, dude, what the hell just happened? I really wasn't that freaked out. He was really freaked out, but I didn't get hit by the skeg either. He did. So we had a chase boat. He come over there. He's freaking out. He thought we were both dead because the boat went over top of us. And he said, I'm done with this. Like, I'm not driving this boat anymore. So there was a ramp right there close by. Somebody brought the truck and trailer around, and we both wound up going to the hospital because honestly, the only reason I went to the hospital is because I had a car fall on me. I was pinned under a car changing my mom's oil a week and a half before. So I broke my collarbone. So I broke my collarbone. A week and a half later, get thrown out of a boat. And I didn't want to have to pay to go, because I was supposed to go get a checkup in a few weeks to make sure it was healing right. And I didn't want to pay for it myself. Well, I was under workman's comp at that point because I was working for FMW. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely working for you. This happened because I was working for you. I'm going to let you pay for making sure I'm okay. And, I was fine. Everything was good. And, yeah, I think Cox actually went on to win the cup that year.
Well,
I think that was the same year.
Thank God you're both okay, because two of my favorite people. I mean, I'd heard that story from John, and I remember the story. Like, I remember it, being the thing that I read about, post tournament, and then it got real hush hush, probably because of corporate involvement.
Yeah.
But I totally had forgot I guess I probably didn't know you at the time, right? And
Probably
I read
not.
your name as part of it, but didn't know you. And then when I finally figured out it was you two in the boat together, I'm like, man, it's crazy.
It's kind of crazy. It really is to think back, like the way things have happened, and that happened to me and him, and at the same time, and here we are competing against each other. And then the classic that Casey Ashley won at Hartwell, like Geddes Brandon,
Yeah,
a good friend of mine. He was in my wedding. Like, he was working for JM at that point. And he called and said, "Hey, can you come be a boat driver, for the classic?" And I didn't really know what it entailed, but I showed up, and the only thing I did, I took Zona and Tommy out and showed them around the lake for a couple hours. And I'm nobody. They don't know me. And then I show up to the league, win my first tournament, and now we're buddies. And there's like, "You remember that time at Hartwell? That was me." It's cool how that stuff works out.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So this year, no sucking, right?
That's the plan. I mean, kind of, you asked me what I thought about the schedule. Like, it doesn't matter what the schedule is. I think I'll like it no matter what, but I really do like it. I like the fact that we're starting in Texas. I've said for years, even back when I was a co-angler, that we need to stop starting in Florida every year. I mean, that's and don't get me wrong, I've won
It's
two
been
big
good.
tournaments starting in Florida. I love it, but I'm so excited to start somewhere other than Florida and actually get to go to Florida when it's actually supposed to be really good. I've got a lot of friends that live in Florida. I've heard for 15 years how good it is in March and April and May. And I think we're going there, April, something maybe like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a little bit different deal, a whole lot different deal, I'm sure. Texas is going to be a completely different start. I love fishing cold weather tournament. That's going to be cold weather tournament. I'm sure there's going to be some wind and some rough water involved, but yeah, I'm really looking for that. I love pre-spawn fishing. That's kind of something that I got really good at growing up. Fishing the lakes I did. Of course, they're completely different style of lakes, but it's still pre-spawn. I love that cold water cranking deal. A lot of things. I'm really looking forward to that.
Sounds good.
And I get to sleep in my own bed again on the greatest lake in the Southeast.
But a much different finish this time.
I hope so. God, I hope so. It needs to be a lot better, at least. Make sure you call Lee Livesey and let him know that Lake Fork might be the best lake in the South Central, but Lake Murray is definitely the best in the Southeast.
See, the thing I like about you, dude, is you'll walk on the stage at Lake Fork and piss everybody off in East Texas. Like, all of Texas wanted you. But you don't back down. Like, and a more sane person would, I'm never talking about Lake Fork for the rest of my life. But you stick. You're a man of your word.
I say what I think, and at times in my life it has got me into trouble. There'll be more times in my life that'll get me in trouble, but the whole deal is just a big joke, really.
Yeah.
And but no, I mean, if I say it, I mean it. I really do. Now, there may be things I'm joking about, like the whole Lake Fork deal, and I know I've told you, at least personally. I don't know publicly. I know I've told it publicly before. I don't know where, but the whole deal with the Lake Fork thing, it's a phenomenal lake. I mean, it truly is probably the best largemouth lake in the country. But in my eyes, it's not a tournament lake. Yes, there's been a lot of elite tournaments there. There's been other tournaments there. But in my eyes, Bryan New, that's the only person I can speak for, it's not a tournament lake. And I'm not hating on Bass for going there. I'm not hating because we're going there. But I do know that there's no way you can be 100% accurate when you have 100 different scales weighing on the water. If you catch a world record fish and you weigh it on the water, it'll never be certified. because it has to be on dry land. And you can go back and watch any of the footage. I know you've seen it. I know you've heard it. I know I've told you this before, but every one of us weighing those fish, there was very few of them that actually ever settled. And it's just not, if I finish second, or let's say I win and you finish second and I beat you by 1 ounce, 2 ounces, 4 ounces. Did I win or did you win? On paper, I won. I got the check. I got the trophy, but realistically, you very well may have won that tournament. And not only that, and this is the side that like a lot of people probably won't talk about, but it is a reality. Like there is a chance that you could cheat 100%. You know, you get somebody in your boat. I get a big Bryan News fan. Oh, this is my favorite angler in the world. Like I want him to win this tournament. And I go catch 14 pounds, and I mean, he could put down, you know, if me and him wanted to, not saying I would ever, or not saying anybody else on the elites would ever do this, you could cheat up and down with that deal, with that format. And I just don't like that opportunity being there.
So
That's
it's not
my
like
whole,
fork. It's the catch, weigh, and release. Yes.
100%. 100%. Yeah, no, Lake Fork's awesome. It does suck that you have to deal with a lot of the stuff you have to deal with there, but no, Lake Fork truly is awesome. But I'm going to talk trash about it till the day I die, just because.
Well, I mean, that makes it fun though, too. I mean, I as a big wrestling fan growing up, I love it when the crowd boos somebody, and you I mean, the only person probably got booed louder than you that day, and it didn't happen that day, but was at this year's Classic when I don't know if you noticed this, but like it was shocking how deafening the boos were. Canterbury weighs in, is very close to winning the Bassmaster Classic. You know what I mean? Like loaded the hot seat, and I forget where he finished, third, fourth, somewhere right there. And does his speech, you know, and I'm like, well, you're going to load our hot seat. And right before he goes to load, he's like, one more thing, roll tide. And all of Tennessee booed him. And I was like, man, that's the first time I've ever seen somebody load the hot seat and get booed on the way to the hot seat. But I think he'll stand by that as well.
Yeah, I wonder. No, I'll just leave it alone. I'll just leave it alone.
I wish you wouldn't. I mean, generally, the things that people that watch this show really like are the things that people feel they shouldn't say but do say. But you've done a lot of that today, and hey, spiders ain't going to kill themselves. You got a busy day ahead of you, I'm sure.
No. I'll give a hint. I'm not going to say it all the way, but I will give a hint. We have talked about Canterbury without saying his name today.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
All right.
I'll let people figure all that out.
Yeah.
Anyway. The one and only Bryan New. Dude, you're always great to talk to. I appreciate your openness and honesty, and go out and get him in 2024. Don't suck, because it sucks.
Yeah, it always sucks to suck. I'm jacked up. I'm excited, but you know, I'm excited to go fish that open. You know, hopefully win that thing. Number one, to win, and number two, to get in that Classic. Man, I've even before, you know, since I've been on the lead, I've made the Classic every year until this year. I still have that chance to keep that streak alive. I really want to do it. It'll be my fourth Classic, and I think, yeah, it would be my fourth. And man, I love getting things ready for next year. I'm actually right down the street from Newberry, South Carolina right now. I've got 3 more jobs, it looks like, and then I'm going to go stop by the Falcon plant, see how my new boat's coming along. I think my new Yamaha was delivered today. So we're only a couple days away from having a new Falcon. Yeah, you know, that's a cool thing. I only live 22 miles from the plant, so I get to go over there. And I actually, you know, I planned on doing it this year, just wasn't able to make time. But one day I'm going to go build my own boat, be a part of every step of the process. And yeah, I guess that's kind of where we got to, work on actually making it, so I don't have to do this, and then I'll have time to go, go over to Falcon and build my own boat.
Build your own boat. That'd be cool. I mean, I guess probably only Gary Klaus can claim that. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Well,
man, it's always fun.
Always good. Fun. Always good to talk to you. Enjoy an off season of killing spiders and changing diapers and all that stuff. I know we'll be talking. But you're always welcome here, dude. You got anything to say anytime, you're always welcome to say it here.
Oh, thanks for having me, dude. It's fun as always. And I guess I better go get back to work. I don't guess I really have to, but I'm going to, because I need to go by Falcon before they close here in a couple hours.
All right, go smush some spiders. How do you actually, is it just a spray? Is that how you take care of the spiders, or what?
Yeah, spiders, yeah. I mean,
what's the worst thing to take care of? Like, what is the thing when you see it, like, I got to do this?
I don't do snakes, period. If we get a snake call, I'm not going to it. Yeah. It's not that I'm, like, if I see a snake right over there and it's over there, I'm fine. But whenever, I'm not getting close to it.
No. I think that just makes you smart.
So, we do a lot of termite inspections and crawling in crawl spaces and termite treatments, and so I'm in crawl spaces a lot. I mean, I've been in like 7 already today, and I've got 4 more to go. And there's, at least in the South, probably everywhere, but I've only experienced it in the South, there's probably not very many crawl spaces that don't have at least one snake in them. Whether you see them or not is a different story.
I don't like snakes. I mean, I live in a country that doesn't have any. I mean, we've got poisonous snakes, but they just kind of make you sick. They're like give you a hangover for a little while. Yeah. I don't have it. I don't like them though. I don't like them.
Fortunately, I've never seen anything other than black snakes under a house. I'm sure other ones get under there, but as far as while I was under, that's all I've ever seen. Knock on wood.
Don't go get bit by any snakes or anything. And we will chat soon. It's always an adventure with the one and only Bryan New.
All right, buddy. See you.
I promised you he is always open and always honest, and that was Bryan New. From South Carolina, we travel all the way to Colorado, where we hook up with Jake Latendresse with this week's Jake's Take. The last open, no, I'm an idiot. See, I can't do this. I'm bad at this job. The third last open, I guess, was this past weekend in Watts Bar, on Watts Bar, not in it, but I mean, you can say whatever you want. And we have Jake's Take because Jake Latendresse was there. Hopefully you're better at reporting on this event than I am introducing it, Jake.
Yeah, we weren't in Watts Bar, but sometimes it felt like it because it was raining so hard. I mean, it was like, it was pouring rain on Saturday. And when we saw it coming, that was like the talk of the morning. We all got to the ramp at Watts Bar. Of course, this was out of Kingston, Tennessee, 20 miles from Knoxville. And it was pretty cool having Bobby Lane. There's a bunch of young kids, at the top of the leaderboard. And then you've got Bobby Lane and Ish Monroe making their big comeback into the Bassmaster world, and they were both in the top 10. So I was totally excited to be a part of this whole final day of the Watts Bar Open.
Is that why you're wearing the big T hat?
No, I'm wearing the big T hat because I'm a huge Tennessee fan.
Clearly, if you're wearing it today.
Yeah, and I did spend time with my buddy Archer in Knoxville, watched the Tennessee-Florida game and the CSU-CU game and all that stuff. But I ended up buying me some Tennessee apparel and my kids Tennessee apparel while I was there. So yeah, I'm doing in the big power T, baby.
I'm slowly becoming a college football fan. I mean, at one time on this podcast, I said it was the worst. I'm still a huge NFL fan, but I'm more and more. But here's my question to you before we get into this open.
Okay.
If I'm a college kid, I don't want to play anywhere other than Colorado. Like, dude, to say one dude can change things. I mean, Deion Sanders, what he's doing is literally changing the history of the game. And dude, if you're a recruit, you're like, well, I want to go there.
100%. And like a lot of people say this is all about him. I've actually talked to some students that go to CU. I live 50 miles from Boulder, and I know parents in my neighborhood that have children that go there, and they're like, yeah, I don't know about Deion. He's making this all about him. But at the end of the day, if you're recruiting top recruits out of high school or even the transfer portal, you do make it all about you as the head coach, because at the end of the day, I believe that he's making this about the young men that he's facilitating into life, and he's teaching them how to work hard, how to be a professional, how to present yourself in front of a camera, how to deal with the limelight, the pressure, all that stuff. And I think as a dad, I mean, I would want my son to play for Deion Sanders, man. He's cool. I like it.
It is awesome. He talked on game day. Actually, I guess he tried to come to Auburn, which is like he wanted to be right in the middle of it. And I mean,
they ended up hiring Hugh Freeze over Deion Sanders.
Good job. Steve Kennedy. I don't know much about college sports, so I do not want to tiptoe my feet into that battle, but it's amazing to watch from the outside. But tell me about the Open, because the other thing that's amazing is the kid that won this. Zona likes to talk about people being his spirit animal and stuff. I do not know Tyler Williams at all. I mean, I literally texted him this morning on Instagram to tell him congratulations. Don't know him at all. But from what I've seen of him, he may be my spirit animal. I mean, if I made the Elite Series or won a Bass tournament, I mean, dude is a train wreck, but a wonderful train wreck.
So he told me at the ramp before takeoff, it was like an hour before takeoff, and I walked down there just to say hey to everyone and introduce myself. And he told me, I said, how'd it go yesterday? He said, well, it was kind of tough because he had some sort of power electrical issue in his boat the night before. He plugged his boat in to charge all of his batteries. When he got to the boat ramp on Saturday morning for Championship Saturday, he discovered that none of his batteries charged. So I don't know if it was to conserve battery or what, but I'm sorry, let me back up one day. This was on Friday. His batteries were dead on Friday morning from Thursday night charging. And so he had to manually turn his trolling motor the direction he wanted to go, and had to fish through that adversity all day on Friday and still made it to Championship Saturday. So that was an interesting little nugget that he gave me, but I didn't really get to interact with him. But I did hear on comm throughout the day that like he was really entertaining. The guys in the studio were saying, oh, this dude's great, man. Let's get him, let's get him some more airtime. He's killing it right now too. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was a great champion, and it's cool to see that kind of outward excitement. I mean, he was very relatable. He's from Maine. He's a good dude. And I don't know how he's doing in the EQ points. I know he's fishing them all, but I'm excited to have him on the Bassmaster Classic stage, and I hope to have him on the Elite Series at some time, because he's a lot of fun to watch.
I mean, if anyone out there is wondering, what the difference is between the Opens and the Elites, there's a huge difference. There's adjustment, those technical differences between anglers from that level of the Elites to the Opens. But at the same time, there's a bunch of really young, I'm going to call them kids just because of my age. There's a bunch of young kids in the Opens that are killing it, crushing it right now. And it's interesting, especially, I hate to bring the F word up again, but especially with all the talk and controversy about front-facing sonar and all that, and all these kids are moving up from, their high school to college to the Bass Nation into the Opens and all the phases of professional bass fishing that you have to go through to get up into the elite ranks. I mean, there's a lot of kids out there that know what they're doing, know how to use their electronics, and that are really making their move into the, up to the elite level. It's pretty cool to watch. And when you see someone like the McKinney kid and the Williams kid, they're kids, and it's eye opening.
Yeah, actually, just to make our show more professional, I checked where he is in standing. 17th in EQ points. So I mean, there's a shot for him to make the Elite Series. Already qualified for the Bassmaster Classic. So I say make it happen, Tyler
Do you
Williams.
still have that pulled up?
Yeah, I do.
Where's Bobby Lane? Because he moved up. His top 10 moved him up into the teens.
Yeah, he's in 13th place.
Okay, that's perfect because we've got 2 events left. Lake of the Ozarks. This coming Sunday is championship. They've moved it because of the back-to-back open events. So instead of having championship Saturday for this coming open, it's going to be championship Sunday. And, Bobby Lane, I was in his boat on Saturday at Watts Bar, and it was not only refreshing and sort of, we had some catch-up conversations, to talk about. But it was really cool to see how hungry he is to get back into the Bassmaster Elites. And he's got 2 events left. And of course, his home pond is Harris Chain, basically. And so, he wants to do well at Lake of the Ozarks. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't, he's got Harris Chain in his back pocket to, make one last big run for a top 9 AOY finish in the opens to qualify for the elites, and he's pumped about it. I mean, he really is truly excited to come back to Bass.
I'd love to see it happen for him. And if you look at him, I mean, he's literally 2 spots out right now, because in the top 10 is Kenta Kimura.
Mm-hmm.
Kenta's already on the Elite Series. Mm-hmm. So they'll go down to 10th, and your top 10, just for everybody to know, JT Tompkins, John Garrett, Trey McKinney, Kenta Kimura, which, I mean, will finish there, but it will go down another spot. Robert G., Brett Cannon, a incredible Texas angler, Keith Tuma, former Classic qualifier, Wesley Gore, Jacob Bigelow, Kyle Austin, and Logan Parks. That'd be your top 11, I guess, because that's where we go to. Or no, we go to our top 10. Well, Logan was on the show last. Anyways, there's your reporting. That's the most official we're going to get on this show. But
Kenta, Kenta had a top 10 on Harris Chain. Was it last year? At the elites, so yeah. He knows Harris Chain, and to me, that's an advantage for someone like Bobby Lane or Logan Parks sitting down there at the bottom of the top 10 or top 15 with 2 events left. Kenta holds a spot for someone else to move up in case they're not in that. It's the top 9, right?
Yeah.
Top 9 move into the qualify for the elite. So that's kind of an open spot for one of the 10, 11, 12, or 13 place guys to move up one spot.
That's what I just said. Do you listen to a damn word? Put that
I was
hat
just
on
saying,
you.
I was relating that to Kenta Kimura's top 10 finish at Harris Chain in the elites.
Okay.
So he does well there.
All right. Well, you got anything else for us from this Open? Anything stand out to you? I mean, you've seen one of the big talked about topics coming into the season was the switch to 9. You got to fish all 9 to qualify. How do you feel? How different are the Opens? I mean, you were just covering one of the final 3 Opens, the third last Open. All the pressure is now on that group of guys. They're all trying to make it. How different is it for you?
Not
for you, but like, what are you seeing? What is the difference? I got to learn how to talk today.
So, Bobby and I talked about this, and I actually talked to Ish a little bit about it as well. And Bobby, one of the things that, he started out slow this year in the Opens in his first 2 or 3 events. And I asked him why. I said, why do you think that happened? He goes, I just felt so much pressure, after not doing well in the first one. He started asking himself, did I make the right decision? What am I doing? And then as the season rolled along, he started to just basically just go fishing again and have fun with it. Relative to everyone else, he's an older guy in the professional fishing ranks, and he just had fun again, and that's when he said he started doing well. And I talked to Ish as well before he put in on Saturday morning, and he talked about how much pressure he felt as well. And one of the big differences, between or amongst the young guys and the older guys that have been there before, is their level of calmness, and there's they're intense. They're intense inside mentally because they're focused on what they're doing, but the outer shell is just like it's another day, another tournament day on the water, and that's how I have to look at this to be able to fish the way that I want to fish to compete at this level. And they all talk about how challenging and how difficult it is at the open level now to requalify for the elite. So I feel the intensity as a camera guy. Like when I was in Bobby's boat, I felt like I was covering an elite event. It was that intense.
Did he hit you with any lures this time?
No, we talked about it though. He almost tried. He had one of those chopos,
Uh-huh.
and it was hung on a little branch in the water, and he snapped it back, and I saw it coming, and I dodged to my left, and it went over my right shoulder, and we both started laughing. He goes, "You saw that one coming, didn't you?" Uh,
Couple leave a mark. That would leave a mark.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was fun, man. I had a great time. I love going back to Tennessee, and I'll be at Lake of the Ozarks covering this Sunday, and then in October I'll be at Harris Chain, and I'll be covering the college bracket as well. So I'm more and more personally getting involved and really engaging in these other events that are qualifying events for the classic or the elites, and I enjoy it because I get to see and interact with some of the guys that are going to be in the elites in the near future. So it's pretty cool.
You just said you were with Bobby Lane, and then you're like, I get to interact with some of the. You already know those
At the
people.
dock, I know, but at the dock,
Okay.
I didn't know TJ, or I didn't know these guys. I know of them. I just don't know them personally.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of them don't wear shoes. A lot of the young anglers, it's a new thing. I mean,
Or flip
Tyler is the
flops.
same. And no, but I mean, literally,
Yeah.
they walk on stage with no shoes. I don't know. Maybe Ot Defoe has done that to our sport or what it is. I mean, Aaron used to not wear shoes at times. So it's happening. But
It's the vibe.
congrats to Tyler Williams for winning the Bassmaster Open. I look forward to seeing you at the Classic. The main event, Tyler Williams. You get it? Because he's from Maine. Yeah. I don't
So
know.
one of our camera guys, John, I forget his last name, one of the new camera guys that is coming in to help cover some of our events when we don't have enough, when someone has to bail or whatever. He's from Maine. So after the event was over, he found out that Tyler was from Maine. So he was like, you know, he had that in-state camaraderie about that win, and how little you hear about guys from Maine in the professional fishing world. But apparently, there's some good bass fishing, largemouth and smallmouth fishing in Maine. Did you know
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I did know
Yeah,
that. I did
I
know that.
know.
It just doesn't get a lot of national hype. You know what I mean? Like,
Publicity, yeah.
there's not many big events or any that I know of, but Maine's a pretty incredible outdoors state when it comes to, when it comes to all the outdoor,
Oh
anything
yeah.
outdoors. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's pretty awesome, pretty natural, pretty untapped. And are you going to come on? We haven't talked about this, but how about we just have you on for one of these mini Jake takes after each of these opens?
Let's do it. The college bracket too. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are the future of our sport, so it's worth talking about. Let's do it, man. Come on.
All right. All right. I got one more
Mini
question
Jake's
for you.
take.
And I
Okay.
stole it. I stole it from a podcast that I love. Travis Kelsey and Jason Kelsey have the #1 sports podcast in the world. So congrats to them.
Wow.
New heights. And they argued over this. So I'm going to throw it to you. How many holes does a straw have?
1.
Is it 1 or is it 2 though?
It's 1. It's 1 long hole, because a hole has an entry and an exit, right?
Uh-huh.
So
So you go
1
in the
hole.
first hole.
And you
And
come
what do you
out
come out?
the first hole.
It'll blow your mind. I mean,
This
because
is
you take
hilarious.
the straw and you cut it in half. I mean, it's got a lot of holes then.
Were you
More
expecting
holes.
me to say 2? You were.
I mean, some people say 2. I agree with you on the 1, which made this topic crash and burn. But yeah, they argued over it for a long time, and I've talked to some people about it, and they start arguing. But I'm going 1. I'm going 1 with you. But we'll let her find.
What was the context of the? How did
Nothing.
that initiate?
It's just a stupid question. It's dumb. Like, how does it? It was just like, how many holes does a straw have? A lot of people will say 2, but it is 1. I mean, if it's, I mean, how many? But how many openings does a tunnel have?
1.
But nobody would say 1, right?
That's true. It depends. I guess it depends. This is overwhelming.
Yeah.
There's 1 hole. I mean, the first thing I thought of when I thought of the image of a straw, how many holes does it have, was a tunnel. Thinking, okay, it's just 1 hole. It's 1 in and 1 out.
How did I know you'd think it through? Well, let us know what you guys. How many holes does a straw have? This has been a little itty bitty mini Jake's Take, and I appreciate you for feedback on the opens. And anything else to add before you leave here?
No, but I'll never look at a straw the same again.
No, I'm sitting staring at this one like,
oh my God, don't do that to me.
It'll blow your mind. I mean, it'll mess you up. Jake's Take. Always good to see you, Jake.
Thanks, Dave. See you, buddy.
You're welcome. So that's it. That's all. We will be back with another one of these next week. Got to thank Bryan New, Jake Latendresse, and thank all of you for tuning in. And we'll see you again. Enjoy being. Have a great week. And as always, Bob Cobb, take it away.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, because Bob Cobb of the Bassmasters told you to. You hear?